Friday at 10:15 a.m. on the Real 1100.
Let's talk.
Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning.
Hey.
Oh, Lord. What is it today? Wednesday? No, Thursday. This week seemed like it's going a little quicker for me. Okay, so it's Thursday.
It's not going fast enough for me.
Really?
Yeah, I'm ready to get out this week.
Oh, okay.
Stressful week, so.
Gotcha.
I'm trying to get back to normal routine.
Okay, gotcha. All right, guys, we have so much to talk about today, and you will definitely need a mimosa, but hey, if you all don't have them at home ready, we do. Come be on the show.
We'll drink it for you. We got mimosa
come be on the
goblets
show
today.
Right. All right, guys. The first thing I want to talk about. Oh, and I have on my gym clothes because I'm going to the gym after being here. You know how you prepare yourself to put on your gym clothes and to make sure you go. It didn't work last week.
At least in your mind, you're like, I was ready to go to the gym, but
other
life
things,
got in the way.
Because I did that a couple of days ago too. Yeah. Anyway, so Tamar Braxton, she reveals to Wendy Williams that she was molested as a child. Did you all know that?
Okay.
Yeah. And it was by a family member, and check this out. It's family members on both sides. A family member on one side, mom's side, and one on daddy's side, both molested her as a child. That's pretty deep, huh?
Yeah, and I think as we progress as a society, hopefully, even against what the president's trying to do, I think we've got to understand that those type of things happen more often than we think.
Molestation?
Yes. And I
mean,
think
even Whitney,
it gets hidden a lot in families because there's a lot of shame that gets associated with it.
And other family members don't want to accept the facts.
Right.
I have a friend who actually, she was kind of in the same situation, not with both sides, but she never felt comfortable bringing it out, to other relatives. And then one day she did, and they didn't believe her. Right.
And there's that piece of it where you don't get believed.
So you got blackballed in your family, and now they don't even. And
then you wait. I mean, because it's really a he said, she said.
Yeah.
And then you've got an adult versus a child. And so people tend to believe the adults and not the children.
That's so sad, too, because that's why kids aren't coming forward.
Right.
But anyway, Tamar did not come forward until recently. Apparently, the Braxton sisters. Do you ever watch their reality show? Do you ever watch it?
I watched it,
every now and then.
As I was passing through, and my wife would be watching, and I'd be like, "What?
That's Ray Michelle."
I'd be like, "What is this foolishness going on?" And I would stop maybe.
Michelle like reality TV.
She does.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Okay, so apparently the Braxtons, all the sisters got together and went to Ayanna Vendette to help settle some of the family beef. Everybody be going to her like she wrote that book. Meanwhile, like years and years ago, and now she's just
what was the name of her book?
The book, In the Meantime. It was like what you do in the meantime. At least I think that's what it is.
Right.
Somebody in the chat room, if I'm wrong, let us know.
Yeah,
but people come to her to really figure out their problems and, try to see where the problem came from. And so they were in there with her, and then Tamar just storms out and walks out. So I was thinking when I read this, I was like, it's a little petty, she don't like what the sister's saying, so she being petty and leaving. But Wendy Williams went in, like when she was on the show, Wendy ain't gonna take no for an answer. So she kept asking her, like, why did you storm out? Why did you storm out? And that's when she ended up saying that she was molested on the Wendy Williams show.
Yeah, it's and maybe that adds to the some of her behavior and some of her extraness over the years is that she and the way
or maybe she just like being extra.
And maybe she does, and that could be why she interacts with her sisters the way that she does. It could. I mean, I'm trying to be, You
know what? I'm confused because Tamar went and she shaved off all of her hair, right?
Yeah.
And said, she had a long statement with that. You guys have heard it already.
Right.
But, like, every time I see her, she rocking wigs again and weaves. And so that didn't last too long, did it? I mean, did it? Like, every time I looked on her Instagram, and it was like weaves.
I'm not a big fan of Tamar Braxton, and we've talked about that on the show.
Oh, okay.
But I really liked what she did when she shaved her head.
Me
thought
too.
that was a bold
but
and
now
very
I'm seeing
powerful
nothing but
statement.
weaves, and I'm seeing wigs. And, I mean, she's looking good, but I mean, I just want to know what made her go back to where. Now, she did have some pictures on her Instagram where she didn't have hair, but the last one she did, she had on a fly wig. It was pretty nice. So I don't know, but anyway, she wants to let us know she is definitely done with Vince and that she is dating a new man, and they've been dating now for a couple months, more like 6 or 7. I mean, not a couple, and she's very happy with him, and she couldn't love life any better.
That's good. I mean, I as petty as I can be, and I can throw some shade. I still want people to be happy.
That's why I wear my sunglasses in here. That's why it be so much shade going on here.
But I still want people to be happy, and I think that if she's found happiness, obviously she's still working on it because she's storming out of family counseling sessions. So she's still working on finding her joy. Mm-hmm. But if she's happy in her relationship, that'll be one step closer to doing that. And so I wish her all the best.
Wish her all the best.
She needs to stop all the extra though. I mean, it's a little too much.
But you know what? That's just her. That's her. Like some people are just extra. Like you, Patty. Yeah. Think about it.
People probably say I'm extra at times.
People say I'm extra, so like, how you gonna really tell somebody to stop being extra? You and I are both extra.
There's only room for one pair of extra people on this planet. They're sitting in this room right now. Look, everybody else, you got to get on.
Both petty. Like, I can't believe you did that. You trying to tell somebody not to be petty. Well, we petty.
No, you can be. Oh yeah, you can be petty at all times.
You wrong.
You can be petty at all times.
And so I have an update, guys.
Yeah.
Remember the lawyer? The judge who wasn't easy on that sentence with Meek Mill, who left him in jail.
Yeah, the hater judge.
The hater judge.
Hashtag hater judge.
She was the one, trying to get somebody signed on a label and all that, and she put Meek in jail, and she wasn't hearing it. So guess what? Her lawyer speaks out, right? Mm-hmm. There's a documentary, and Rock Nation is doing it.
Of course.
So, and Amazon too. So they had a good interview. Everything was fine. Then all of a sudden the reporters say, hey, can we go off air? Like, can this, what do you call it?
Off the record.
Yeah, off the record. Right. So they say yes, right? He says yes. So they tell everybody, cut all their cameras off, even take your camera and face it the other way.
Right.
So, there had to be one petty person.
They got the camera.
One petty person. He turned it around and he cut it off though.
I love it.
We have footage.
You have the audio.
Yeah, we have the audio.
Audio, right.
But they told them to cut the cameras off.
They turned off the video.
No, look, they said, no, they kept it going. They said, turn it, they
they didn't get the video, but they got the
audio.
But they
audio, because one person, I like that one person, because he's petty.
Petty's everywhere.
We love it. Okay, so
I would start a petty face group. I would start a petty Facebook group.
We already have one. Me and you have a group. That's petty. But, okay, so at the end, the lawyer, after they go off the record, he told the cameraman.
Allegedly off the record.
Well, it was supposed to be off the record.
Right.
But so he tells them, he was like, in the leaked footage, he's saying stuff like, she looks like a effing fool, talking about his client.
Right.
He was like, she should have, let him out of jail before. And just he's going in talking about his client, which is the judge.
To a reporter.
But remember, it's supposed to be
off the record. But you still shouldn't put that out there. You still shouldn't put that out there. You should always defend your client. Do only that in-house, like with the other lawyers at your practice. That's when you have that kind of conversation. You don't have that with a stranger.
So he said, so now he's coming forth and he's saying that he's been sabotaged. He said that he's suing Amazon and he's suing Rock Nation. He said because we have I listened to it last night and he was going in. He was like, she looked awful. He was he went all the way in.
He was saying the truth and he was giving his honest reaction. However, when the employee of Rock Nation
got fired.
The employee of Rock Nation who was acting on the behest of Rock Nation and Amazon, they violated what was agreed upon to turn off the cameras. And when you didn't do that, you violated that agreement, verbal or otherwise, so they're gonna pay.
Alice said it's time to pay up.
Oh yeah, get your money. But he still shouldn't have said that about his client to anybody a room full of strangers.
And let me tell you, I listened to the entire thing.
Come on now.
And I'm gonna post it for you all later, but he was just like, I don't know what's wrong with her. He was like, she's just awful. Like, how did when the cameras go down, allegedly, how do you just start going in about why are you even putting that why are you even telling the reporter that's doing the documentary? Like, you know what I'm saying?
You always have to treat, whether it's on the record or off the record, I've always said, you treat a reporter like a reporter, because they're going to share that story some kind of way. Whether they leak it to somebody else or whether they're going to get that, because that's their job. So I would never.
So this is my thing. So all right. So he can put a lawsuit against both of them.
Yep.
But as far as the guy who did it, who put it out there,
fired.
He's fired.
So fired.
Okay. So.
I wouldn't even give him a ride home if they all rode over there together. I wouldn't even give him a ride home.
So what do you
call Uber?
What do you all think? Look, I'm gonna call it for you just to get you out of my presence. So what do you think the judge is thinking right now? Like, is she going to do something to her lawyer?
Oh, that lawyer's fired.
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
Everybody getting fired.
I'm asking you.
You need a job. You need a job. You're gonna be like Oprah. You need a job. You need a job.
Right.
I would so fire my attorney, and I would sue my attorney for malpractice.
You know what we need to do? Look, you know what? If they start doing, well, never mind.
Yeah,
never mind.
I would.
I ain't gonna say it.
If I was her, I would so fire that attorney.
You have to fire him. I mean, he's,
right.
and I mean, I'm gonna put the whole.
And I would sue, and I would use that tape as breach of my confidence, because you still have attorney-client privilege.
You're just a shady lawyer. Like, you talking and everything's fine.
Can we put our Law and Order lawyer hat on right quick?
All right, we love Law and Order.
Okay, we are Law and Order
we
lawyers.
basically already said legally what's gonna go down.
We certified. Okay.
We certified Law and Order
I'm gonna tell you
attorneys.
like this, for real.
We didn't go to school to be attorneys, but we are Law and Order.
Exhibit A against my.
Alice, did you say Exhibit A?
Exhibit A. I had to put my hat on right quick. I need to look.
Let's hear it. Exhibit A.
Exhibit A would be that audio tape of saying why I'm suing my attorney. Right. Because that's malpractice. Because you have just put all my stuff out there. You have talked bad about me, slander, libel, all that. I would have put it all in there. Because you just threw me out there under the bus to a reporter. And yes, allegedly it was off the record, but obviously it wasn't, because you got a room full of people that the possibility of shady. The more people you put in that space, the more possibility you have for shadiness to go on.
I'm petty too, because when I go home, I'm gonna listen to it some more. Because he really, how do you say my client is awful? Like,
awful.
He said awful.
But she's paying you, right?
Effing awful, let me say. And then he's saying she should have released him. She should have released him and granted a motion to a retrial. He said all that, but you're the one that's. So maybe he just didn't like his client. Maybe he just... You
don't have to like your client. There's plenty of defense attorneys that probably dislike their clients, but we don't have audio tape of them just talking to a room full of random people about how they don't like their client.
Right.
They talk about that in their offices with
their office. Yeah. They talk about it with their wives and husbands.
Right. You don't want that out there, because they're
doing a documentary.
And they're paying
you think this is a documentary? Like, you think we're gonna leave that part out? Like,
did they not watch the Trayvon Martin documentary? They getting everybody. They will get you. That Jay-Z. They did the Trayvon Martin
who
documentary.
are they getting though?
They were getting George Zimmerman tried to get the family to shut that. They tried to get to shut it down because they were making him look so bad as in person. Jay-Z folks be getting you.
Hey, Rock Nation.
But I'll do a documentary.
I'll do one. And it can be on, off the air, whatever y'all want to be.
I'll be on the record, but I ain't gonna be stupid like that.
Right.
Right. I know we got some more stuff, but we got to go to break. We got to go to break and listen to the. I don't know about the He conference expo coming up.
Yeah, He Expo.
He Expo coming at the end of the month. Y'all check it out. 28th, 29th. Shout out to Cindy Chenier.
Also on the 22nd, we have an event here at the station to get people out there voting. You have to vote to make a change. You cannot sit there and be upset with the outcome if you did not vote. We want to encourage
local, state, national.
We want to encourage voting. National. And it's not just about the presidential election, like a lot of us think. Right. It's about everybody. Yeah. Everybody starting from here all the way up.
City council, mayor.
Everybody.
Your district representative in the state and national.
Because I had only cared about president elections. And Ellis kind of hit me to know you need to be on every different. Everything. Yeah, so anyway, we're going to go ahead and go to commercial break.
Go to break. We'll see you in a minute. You're listening to The Morning Takeover right here on the Real 1100 AM.
Do you
you care about your health?
Do you like to laugh?
Well, we know the place to go that's informative, fun, and funny for your entire
JB, hey, real quick, JB, congratulations on 19 years at your job, celebrating 19 years on your job.
Celebrate.
Shout out to JB.
Who was the guy we saw at the premiere? And he was like, I think it was him and his wife, and he was like, man, I love your show. We sitting there
Oh,
talking.
that's my boy. He went to fan with me.
Oh, okay, yeah. He was like, love the show.
Yeah, so and
thanks for
he's
supporting us.
not even in trade room, but he just watches. He watches offline. Like he'll go back on the page and watch it.
Oh, my
So
God.
JB wanted to give you a shout out on that. 19 years. That's a blessing to be on one job for 19 years. So shout out.
Exhibits food, segments, healthy cooking tips, and more.
Your favorite morning show host will be there too. Stop by the social media suite and check us out.
For more info, go to www.heheexpo. That's HEHEEXP.
Right, what's up?
.com. You'll laugh your way to a healthier life.
And we are back, and you're listening to the Morning Takeover right here on the Real 1100 AM. I am your boy, Silly Thoughts, and I'm sitting across from the lovely Shanisa W.
Shanice
She's
W.
got on some new shades today. I've just peeped the new shade
Yes,
game has been going up. I'm like,
My shade game. I got my big black ones, then I got, I came in with the gold ones.
I'm
Now
like, wait a minute,
look.
she done flipped. She went to the shade bar, whatever.
Right, I went to
Sunglass hut, whatever.
it's a place in the Cumberland Mall that say, if you on the radio and you want to grow shades, you need to start wearing 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Maybe that's what we ought to do in a side business. We ought to start designing shades. The Morning
Right,
Takeover.
so you just noticed the new
Shade
ones?
special, yeah. Well, I saw them earlier. I was like, those don't look, I haven't seen those before. So
Yeah.
I just like, hey, we'll say it on the air. But Shanisa got on some new shades today.
I got some new shades.
She flipping on her Melissa Fords.
Oh, Lord.
But no, it's all good.
Okay, Ellis, this is the next headline I'm going to just read to you and
Okay.
tell me. And I was like, you about to be so petty until I tell you. Okay, so I'm looking through topics, right? Because I
Right.
want to come up with some stuff to bring up. So if you was to see this, what would you think? Mark Anthony, credit card thief, at least getting 2 years in prison. That's the headline. What would you think?
I would say,
Let me repeat it. Mark Anthony, credit card thief, at least getting 2 years in prison.
I would say that somebody stole a credit card from Mark Anthony and they're going to get 2 years in prison, getting at least 2 years in prison.
Oh, see, okay. When I read it, I thought Mark Anthony was the...
They wrote it like that to
Yeah,
make
you
you
said-
think it.
right,
yeah.
right.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
That's how the media tries to, that's clickbait.
And that's why I thought I was going to say it and you was going to be like, Mark Anthony's stealing.
Nah.
Right. That's what they... See, they so sneaky.
I used to write them headlines.
See, they sneaky. They give you that. That's what we're going to start doing on our YouTube.
We got to.
But they give you that title. And look at me. I almost fell. I was at my place and I almost fell down when I saw Mark Anthony credit card theft. And I was like, oh, shoot.
Mark Anthony's a big name. But here's the thing. And this is why I've been reluctant on doing it on our YouTube page because I
People
know
get
how
mad.
because I know how people get mad. I know how I feel when you clicked on something and you be like,
But guess
wait a
what?
minute, that's not what I read.
They can't take that view back, though.
They can't. And so I'm like, I'm going to have to be dirty. I'm going to be dirty.
We're going to have to be dirty to make y'all look. And, I mean, look, you can't take that click away. So, whatever. But anyway, so when I read that, that's what I was just like, oh, my God. J-Lo, where you at? Mark might need some money. But, yeah, no.
J-Lo got that A-Rod.
J-Lo, but I was, I heard
She can that A-Rod
Mark
corn.
Anthony, they got kids together. So I'm like, if he was doing bad, I'm like, J-Lo, you ain't going to help him out?
So let me ask you a question. If you had kids with a poor man, and now you with a rich man, who you going to bring
Mark
your kids
Anthony
with?
was poor. He was
He ain't poor, but
rich.
he ain't got A-Rod money.
He still got money.
Okay, he got some money.
Yeah, he got money. He's
So
not
it's-
gonna miss a meal.
So if you got a man that's making $125,000 a year, and then you give a man that's making $10 million a year, who you kids gonna be with? Who you gonna bring your kids with?
I'm a both, because one is their father. Like, are you putting a price on
No.
who I'm gonna bring my kids around? Their father
Right.
and the new, like that's not even a.
Right.
What you thought I was gonna pick A-Rod and not?
I'm saying she
Mark
probably
Anthony.
spending more time with A-Rod. That's what I'm saying. Her and her kids are probably spending more time with A-Rod.
No, the only reason I brought J-Lo up is because I thought Mark Anthony was going through something financially, and I was gonna be like, J-Lo, can you help him? But no, it's
No, Mark Anthony's got paper.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He was
got
singing
paper.
overseas. He was making a lot of money overseas.
He's making a lot of money.
singer. Yeah, he was
but
making
I'm
money.
going to always say, the father, the biological father, never get to a point
But
where
A-Rod, but think about it like this. A-Rod combined contracts for Major League Baseball was almost $500 million. And that's just from playing baseball. So he was making money.
Who's?
A-Rod, the guy
Okay.
she's with now.
So $500 million, that's guaranteed money. Baseball got guaranteed contracts. And he was getting endorsements and all other stuff.
So wait a minute,
So
you think that the money that the kid, you thought I was going to say the kid should go to...
No, what the question was, is she's spending time with A-Rod. That's her man now.
Yeah, and she's spending time with her kids. And
she's spending time with her kids. So the kids probably do visitation with dad, but they probably spending more time with
I mean, I never questioned that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me tell you what it's about. A guy, he robbed Mark Anthony blind for years. He just now stopped and got a slap on the wrist with a sentence. Basically, he works at a finance place.
Right.
And when the Mark Anthony account came in, he got super excited because he knew it was a lot of money. So he basically went hog, is what the article said. He went hog after getting access to Mark Anthony's money. They said he went hog. And the verdict is for him to pay $9.1 million back to Mark Anthony.
He ain't got it.
He don't have it.
He ain't got it. I'm gonna tell you right now, I ain't know the case. I know he ain't got it.
Right, like $9.1 million.
He probably there playing trap music. Look at my wrist. Look
Right.
at my wrist.
Something, because I just don't get it. Like, where's the not? Anyway, they said Mark Anthony it's very unlikely that he's going to pursue a civil suit. He's not.
Because he ain't got no money. But you can get a judgment against a dude that's broke. He
Right.
was buying shoes and cars and taking chicks out on fancy dates and everything. He has nothing to show for that money.
And what accounting firm is it? I want to know. Whenever I get rich and famous, I ain't putting my money there.
Oprah told y'all need to sign your own checks.
Right.
When you give those, and I understand, when you get that kind of wealth, you need somebody to manage it for you because you're still working to create money. I mean, it's hard to manage that. And I mean, and we're in the same situation. My wife and I, because we work so much, it's hard to manage your money. And so you try to hire somebody that can do it. But if you start giving power of attorney, where they can start making decisions without you, that's when you have a problem. You've got to be there. You got to take, okay, I'm going to meet y'all on the first day every month, and we're going to sit down, and I'm going to sign, and you're going to tell me what's going on. But if you get people that can make decisions without you, that's when you have these kind of problems.
Can I ask this question, though?
Yeah.
I have a question. So this guy is only going to get a couple years in jail.
Right.
Right?
It's credit card fraud.
Yeah, a couple of years in jail. I think they said like 2, or maybe 3. But my question is this: Apollo off of Housewives, he got busted for, using people's stuff and everything. Mm-hmm. Why is his sitting so much longer than this 3 years?
Let me ask you this question: Does Apollo have a previous record?
Oh yeah. Okay,
I
don't know. I don't know, but I'm okay.
He does.
Okay, so that's why he's getting because I think he got like 8 years or something crazy.
He has a prior record.
Oh, so that's why.
That adds into
because I'm like, Apollo did the same thing. See, you put on your Law and Order hat and answer that for me.
I still got it on.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. Thank you, because I was confused.
Look at the flick of my wrist. Hey, look, dude. He could be telling some great stories in jail with them 2 years.
Right.
I was wearing all them Ferragamos and Gucci's.
Right. We got issues. You know that, There's something wrong with us.
For real.
Something wrong with us.
That's why people like listening to the show, watching the show.
Because they don't know what to expect. They don't know what we're going to say.
They
don't
probably
know
crashing their car right now. Like, oh, what's going on?
They don't know if we're going to sing or if we're going to rap or if we're going to what. But,
for real.
But
I got $9 million out of
9.1. Don't forget the 0.1. 9.1.
That's Look, Mark Anthony, I apologize. I didn't know you had that kind of qualm. We got people who can rob you for $9 million, and you're not gonna go after them.
So he can sue the financial firm, though. He can sue them.
He can get them.
I mean, he's not gonna get it from that dude, but he can fire them.
But everybody getting fired today. The lawyer.
I mean, sue them.
The lawyer, the cameraman.
You got me firing everybody because I meant to say sued. Yeah.
But he's gonna fire that firm from handling his finances, so they're getting fired.
Yeah.
Right after they pay him. Give my money back and you fired.
I need to know the name too, because like I said, we're gonna be famous real soon, and we need to know where to put our money.
For real.
And we ain't putting it at that financial institute.
For real. I'll be like this here. You are so fired.
Right.
Like,
real. Why you doing calm? Because I come up in there like you fired. You fired.
Calm.
Like I'm gonna be crump.
I'll be gangster with him. Like, you know you fired, right? Like,
I'm gonna come in and
how would y'all fire somebody? How would y'all fire somebody? I'm like, Like, would you do it smooth?
How would y'all
Would you
fire
flip
somebody?
the table over with your ice cube like you did?
You know what the perfect thing I think you should do, and you're going to think it's crazy? I told my ex-boyfriend years ago, he knew he was about to get let go, right? And I was like, you need to start throwing stuff over after they fire you and start crip walking. And he didn't even know crip, but I said, do that all the way on your way out the door. He thought it was hilarious. So it happened, and I asked him, I said, what'd you do? He was like, I mean, I just took my stuff and dipped. I said, you ain't turned nothing over. You ain't start crip walking.
It's humiliating.
It really is. It really is. Okay, yeah, I do want people to jump in the chat room. Please tell us, how would you fire somebody? And so while y'all doing that, let me go ahead to
I would fire them before. I would be a good employer because I would fire somebody before they came into work.
Because you know what? It pisses you off.
Because some employers let you work the whole day.
A lot of places, you go in, they will let you work the whole day. You go to lunch.
Oh,
you
yeah.
come back.
Boss want to see you. And there be security there waiting on you. Like, wait a minute, what happened?
Right, you come
It
back.
does like that.
Yeah, and they let you work until 5 o'clock and then be like, hey.
On
come
the way
to the
out.
office.
Before you leave, let me talk to you right quick. And you see security and they ain't
Call
y'all standing
me
there?
at home to fire me. Just why don't call people at home to fire them?
I don't know. I think we try to get their last little piece out you. If you
Just
fire them, they
fire
must
me
not have been
out.
doing a good job. Let me stay home.
That's
Too.
what let me
Let
stay
me
home.
sleep.
Call me bright early in the morning and tell me.
Don't even call me. Text me.
Text me.
So I ain't even got to pick up the phone. Oh, good. Snooze.
I'm sleeping in the bed. But yeah, I never understood that work a full day and then all of a sudden.
That's what make me mad. That's why I might flip a table over.
That's
You
what
make
I'm
me work the
saying.
whole day?
And do your crip walk. I don't know how to do it, but you can look at YouTube. They got ways to do the crip walk. But I told him that, and I told him the ways to do the crip walk. I mean, I was being silly, but I was.
I know we got to go, but we got another show for just everybody. So if you're watching on Facebook, we're going to come right back. But have you seen that video where the dude had the quartet come into his job and sing him quitting that job? Oh my God, look that up on YouTube. I promise you.
And we need to post it for our followers.
It is hilarious. I mean, and they was singing. It was four brothers. They was singing. He was like, and he was quitting his job.
That's what I'm going to do.
Wow.
All right, guys. I am Shanisa W. You can find me on Instagram, Shanisa Whitehead on Facebook.
And I'm your boy, Silly Thoughts. That's SILLE Thoughts on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And you can always follow the show as Shanisa Jokes on the Mimosa. You can always follow the show. We're the Morning Takeover Radio Show on Facebook. We're the Morning Takeover on Instagram. And we're the Morning Takeover Atlanta on YouTube. Make sure to check us out. There's been a new thing on our YouTube channel. Subscribe.
We got a whole new YouTube channel.
And she's about to die. But hopefully we're going to have
auditions
for the next show.
No, I basically, that mimosa. It is no pulp in it.
Wrong pipe.
No.
That was the breathing pipe.
Oh, Lord. All right, y'all. We're going to get out of here.
Few.
We've added so much to our YouTube page, our channel, and you guys are going to like it. So go check it out. See you tomorrow.
That's funny.
Oh, Lord. Now we got to move over to the other station. Because we're going to do another show. Because we don't like coming in on Fridays. So we do another show. And I know that guy's probably already waiting to come in here. Hope you guys enjoyed the show today. I did.
That was fun.
Very, very fun. We can rap or sing, though. Like, usually we rap or sing.
I do rap with that. Give me the flick of
Oh, yeah. I get that with you. Okay.
I'm
I'm like, okay, my boobs probably look really big right now, y'all. Sorry. For people that's on mine.
It's all good.
Just.
Ray told you can't drink and breathe at the same time.
I love Cousin Ray Ray. Everybody got a Cousin Ray Ray except me.